Hello everyone, hope all of you are doing well. So today I'm going to discuss the question answer of NCERT Class 6 History Chapter 7, Ashoka the Emperor who gave up the war. As you see, it's a chapter 7. So today we are going to discuss the all possible question answer for the chapters. So before start the chapter, as you all know about the picture, right? Is this picture that is the lion capital. This picture is very important as this you can get a picture questions on the basis of the topic and as well as the main very short answer type questions and from the very first line of the chapter. That is why we find this picture. Like you can give the answer, that is we can find it in the notes and coins, and they were carved in stone and placed on the top of massive stone pillar at Sarnath. This is the complete answer where we find the picture. And now you can get the picture based questions of that. First, identify the picture, and second, where do you see this symbol? Where has it been placed? This is the complete 3 questions you can get from the picture. And the next question is Ashoka. See, who was Ashoka? As you all know about Ashoka, the famous emperor. So who was Ashoka? So your answer should be like this. Ashoka was one of the greatest ruler known to history, and on his instruction, inscription were inscribed on pillar as well as on rock surfaces. So this is up to who was Ashoka. Done. And the next questions, who was Chandragupta Maurya? See here underline, who was Chandragupta Maurya? So you can get a questions like that. Who was the founder of the Maurya dynasty? Who was the founder of the Maurya dynasty? You can see here, you can get your answer. That is, Maurya dynasty was founded by Ashoka's grandfather Chandragupta Maurya. So don't be confused. Founder of the Maurya dynasty is Chandragupta Maurya, not Ashoka. So if you get the questions like who was founder of the Maurya dynasty, your answer is that Ashoka's grandfather Chandragupta Maurya more than 2300 years ago founded the empire, Maurya dynasty or empire, whatever you want to write. Or who was Chandragupta Maurya? The empire that Ashoka ruled was founded by his grandfather Chandragupta Maurya more than 2300 years ago. Okay. And next, another very short answer type question is who was Chanakya? So Chanakya or Kautilya, both are the same person. So don't confuse if you get it in a MCQ option. That is Chanakya or Kautilya the same person or a different person? But always remember they are same person, Chanakya or Kautilya. Now, who was Chanakya? So Chanakya was or Kautilya was a wise man who was supported Chandragupta, and many this is your complete answer. That is, who was Chanakya or Kautilya. You have to write both name. Chanakya or Kautilya was a wise man who helped Chandragupta, or who Chandragupta was supported by this wise man. And now, what is the content of Arthashastra? Next, very short answer type question is, what is the content of Arthashastra? See here, you know, the content of Arthashastra is the Chanakya's ideas. So you can find it as many of Chanakya's ideas were written down in a book called Arthashastra. So the content of Arthashastra mean the ideas of Chanakya. Then what do you mean by the dynasty? This is the dynasty. When members of the same family become rulers one after another, the family is often called a dynasty. So if you did a defined dynasty or anything, you have to write the entire box. say, remember you have to write the entire box, because as you learn about the Maurya dynasty, you have to give few examples of the son and then the descendant also. Okay. So this is another. So next, move to the next page. You will see now the section. There were several cities in the empire. Now, why it is called empire? This is the questions. And this paragraph is the answer. Why it is called empire? So before you write the answer, you will find it here that empires need more resources than kings, because the empires are larger than kingdoms and need to be protected by big armies. So if the question is asked to you why it is called the empire, so the question must be start with like that the empires are larger than the kingdoms and need to be protected by the big armies. Then you come to the answer, that is, it is the first line of the answer, and then you come to the point like here, that is, there were several cities in the empire, and this included capital Patliputra, Taxila, Ujjain. So these all cities are combined to make it an empire. So this, the answer should be start like that. It's the larger than the kingdoms because it contained more cities, several cities. Okay, and the people gather. You can see the forest produce and hunted animals of food. You can write it in a point wise. Okay, so before start the answer, you have to write in this line, empires are big, larger than the kingdoms and need to be protected by the big armies. And after completed all the main points, that's why it's called the empires. And once again I come to this point, that is, how are empires different from kingdoms? That is the difference between the empires and kingdoms. Okay, so you have to write these things. The kingdoms are small, empires are big. Okay, and next come to the ruling the empire section. Now there are various short type MCQs questions you can get from here, but the main questions here you get, that is how they manage the empire. How they manage the empire, like how they collect the tax, how they manage the provinces, how they manage the transport systems and all. So you can write down its point wise, and the question comes here, how they managed the empire. So this paragraph is the main answer. You can make it a small point, 5 to 6 points you will get, and you'll get the different types of questions also. Like here, how the rivers and the roads are important. Here you can see that there were vast areas between the centers, and here the Mauryas tried to control roads and the rivers. So here it comes the importance of transport. So this paragraph is especially important because how rivers and roads are important to controlling the empire. You have to write the answer, and this is your answer. I hope you understand. So you can get one major questions, that is how they manage the empires, and separately you can get this question, what is the importance of roads and rivers in the Maurya dynasty. Then come to the next, that is, what do you mean by tribute? Here is the answer, the box is your answer, and see here you can get the what was given by the forest people as a tax. This is a very important section because all peoples are not paying. They are given the as forest honey, timbers, forest products, all this as a tax. So this section is important, and you get a questions like that, what was given by the forest people as tax. Okay, and then next is Megasthenes. We come to this point, this is Megasthenes. You see, please check the spelling. This is a hard one and you have to practice the spelling of this too. That is Megasthenes and Seleucus Nictator. So what is Megasthenes? Who was Megasthenes? Is the first question. So Megasthenes was an ambassador who was sent to the court of Chandragupta by the Greek ruler of West Asia named Seleucus Nicator. So you have to write the entire thing for who was Megasthenes. And Megasthenes, after that the questions come, how did Megasthenes describe the life of Patliputra? If you read this paragraph carefully, you will get the answer that how Megasthenes described the life of Patliputra. Or you can see the Patliputra in the view of Megasthenes. Justify or and write the answer. So here is the questions that how Megasthenes described the life of Patliputra. And you can read here and you can write it as per your choice or as per point wise, as per you remember. It's whatever you easy for them. And next is here. Okay. Ashoka, a unique ruler. Justify. Why Ashoka, a unique ruler? Here is give reason to Ashoka, a unique ruler. For that answer, you have to write the entire thing. That is not only this, because this is for this reason also Ashoka was unique, because here you can find that he is the only king in the history of the world who gave up the conquest after winning a war. That's why he was a unique ruler. So the most famous Mauryan ruler was Ashoka. Your answer should be like that. And he was the first ruler who tried to take his message to the people through inscriptions. And most of the inscriptions were in the Prakrit and were written in the Brahmani Script. This is the first point. And second is Ashoka fought a war to conquer Kalinga. However, he was so horrified when he saw the violence and bloodshed that he decided not to fight any more wars. So he is the only king in the history of the world who gave up the conquest after winning a war. That's why Ashoka was a unique ruler. So this was your answer. Ashoka, a unique ruler. Justify your answer. So point one, that is the first ruler who tried to take his message, and the second is that he gave up the war and for Kalinga. Okay, this 2 point was your answer. Now here, what do you mean by Dhamma? You can see the last line here. Dhamma is the Prakrit word for the Sanskrit term Dharma. So is Dhamma and Dharma both are same? You can get the MCQ questions. Is Dhamma or Dharma is same? So you have to write these questions like Dhamma is the Prakrit word of the Sanskrit term Dharma, and yes, it's the same. Okay. Now what was Ashoka's Dhamma? Here another important questions like Ashoka's Dhamma did not involve worship of a god or performance of a sacrifice. So why Ashoka's Dhamma did not involve worship of a god or performance of a sacrifice? Okay, justify why. Just put a why. Why Ashoka's Dhamma did not involve worship of a god or performance of a sacrifice? And here is your answer, because he was the follower of Buddha, right? And see, there were a number of problems that troubled him, and how he, this was the answer. And second questions from this paragraph was how he solved or handled the problems. Okay, so here is the answer. And if for a very short answer type questions, you will get Dhamma Mahamata, who went from place to place teaching people about Dhamma. So who are Dhamma Mahamata? So here is a Dharma Mahamata, like who went from place to place teaching people about Dhamma. Okay. This paragraph is very important because the question is that you all know how Ashoka spread the Dhamma, or how Ashoka solved the problem in his capital. Okay, and again you will find the picture. This picture is a very important thing, picture, and you can get a picture based questions on this, like identify the picture again, then where was the picture found and where it has been placed now, the same question, and you will get all the answer from here. Okay, now move to the next page, that is here Ashoka's message to his subjects. Okay, and here is, do you agree with Ashoka's Dhamma? Why or why not? This is a think and answer, and this answer is here you can get. One should try to understand the main ideas of another religion and respect it. So your answer should be that, do you agree with Ashoka's Dhamma? Why or why not? Obviously agree, yes. We have to respect all the religions. And next is here you can see about Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's answer. So here is the question, like, what were the views of Pandit Nehru on the practice of Ashokas? Here is your answer. Okay, then the another thing, important thing, what do you mean by Brahmani Script? This is your answer, complete answer. What do you mean by Brahmani Script? Remember to learn this. Again, I will tell you the question here is, what were the views of Pandit Nehru on the practice of Ashoka? Just learn it. And next is the last thing, or last question is, why did empires in the China begins to build the Great Wall? When the Great Wall began, you know the MCQ 2400 years ago, and why there was a need to build the Great Wall of China. Read it, you will find your answer. This is a very short chapter and there are lots of easy questions. Just read, practice, check all your spelling and love it. There are lots of things you have to know. So practice all the question and answer, and if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, write in the comment box. I will try to solve it. So please like and subscribe my channel, Bookmarks. Thank you.